listening to New Roads, New Rules, the podcast where women come together to navigate life's big transitions with honesty, humor, and a whole lot of heart. Here are your hosts, Sandi and Terri. Real women, real talk, and ready to ride.
But you're my bestie for life. Yeah, you're the family I choose. Yeah, you. The best till the end. We can get through this together.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Season 4. Can't believe it.
Season 4. No, it's crazy.
Right?
Yes, it's good to be back after our little break.
It is, but it is kind of hard, like when you're on a vacation and then you jump back into work and you're like, okay, gotta get those
it's like
sea legs.
Yes. But it's so this one might be a little clunky. Let's warn the roadies right now. We're still on vacation. We're
right,
vacation
in our pajamas, all relaxed.
We totally are. It's okay.
It is okay. But we're going to start out with talking about, because it's a brand new year, right? 2026.
Yes.
It's currently like the end of January here. Hope everyone had a great New Year's, and they're starting to do their New Year's stuff that they promised to do for themselves, right?
Right. I think, we ended last season on the New Year's resolutions, right? And so, I think that by this time, the end of January, we start to really realize, are they going to stick? Are they not going to stick? So,
yes, yeah.
Well,
are you sticking to the ones that you set for yourself?
Well, I didn't really make, I didn't really make a resolution. I just kind of like, I've set some little goals for myself, and yes, I am sticking to them. But one of the things, and this is the theme of this episode, so I'm just going to tell you how it came about, was that I decided, 2025 was such a rough year. And so I'm like, looking back, I did some soul searching, and I realized just how, there's no handbook, right, for going through a divorce or anything hard. And I see that some of the times I was less than positive. I was throwing myself a pity party. I was like, and you and the roadies and this whole community did help me through. But one of the things I decided is I'm going to stop overthinking everything this year, and I'm just going to make this the year of yes. So yes. Now, it's so funny because we talk a lot about saying no, but I think there's something to be said about trusting yourself without overthinking everything.
Right. Well, that's the thing I have to work on, is the overthinking part. I'm a Virgo. That's what we do.
Yes, you do. Yes, all Virgos do.
Everything, and even the littlest things. And I have learned in the season of saying yes and not overthinking, in certain aspects in my life, I have learned and have been practicing and kind of proud of myself. I was just thinking to myself about this the other day. Don't overthink it, Terri. Trust the process and don't overthink it. And I did, and it's all come out in a good way. And I'm like, oh, look, it really does work.
Right. Yes. Well, and then, it's so funny because we, like I said earlier, we talk a lot about boundaries, and this doesn't have to be like, just say yes and overcommit. No, it's about self-trust, not not being impulsive.
Right.
I can't speak. So, I think we just all need to stop overthinking every decision, loosen our grip on control, and just say yes to opportunities that align with our values, our energy, and reality as well.
Right. Yeah. So, because when you are overthinking and you are doing it, you kind of get decision fatigue, right? I know I do. I have said to other people in my life, I just want you to make the decision. I make the decisions and everything else. You just make the decision. I can go along with it easily. Just make the decision. Right. Because I'm carrying so much with me. My kids stuff, my work stuff, this, that, the house, the dogs, everything. And I feel like women in general kind of do that because we're expected to handle everything.
Yeah, I think there's some research on that, which we'll get to later. But I think we've talked about that in the past too. Like, I think it's in our nature to take on so much. And I think, there are definitely lessons to be learned about overcommitting and women, and the difference between how women and men handle that.
Right. And I also think that overthinking is kind of a protective, like you're trying to protect something, right? Because at least speaking for myself, I think I overthink things so I can be 2 steps ahead. So that way, if the rug is pulled out from underneath me, I've already in my head got it figured it out. And it just, I get tired of doing it.
It's about all the things that could happen, right? And when you should be just kind of like living in the moment or whatever. But studies in cognitive psychology show that too many options and too much analysis reduce satisfaction. So even when the outcome is objectively good, you could be dissatisfied because you've overthought it. You know what I mean?
I've done it. I mean, I know exactly what you mean because I've done it in certain situations because in my head, it turned out something different.
So I think we have to program ourselves to say that more thinking does not equal better decisions, right? Because you could be making decisions about what you think is going to go right or wrong or whatever, and that could lead to a bad decision overall anyway.
Right. I mean, I think that overthinking activates something in your brain as a threat because even if it's a good thing and you start overthinking of it, like your brain's like, okay, this might be bad. So this is why you're prepping. This is why you're doing that, So, you need to stay calm in it and everything. And to have more self-trust, which is something that I'm working on all of the time.
Yes. So I am committed this year to self-trust. Yeah. That is what I'm going to do. But we do have some research around it. So,
all right. Of course you do. Tell me about it.
So, research on intuitive decision-making shows that when people have experience in an area, quick decisions are often as accurate or more accurate than over-analyzed ones, which is, I guess, a given, right? It feels like that is just something that makes sense, right? You already have knowledge, so you're not overthinking it. Neuroscience studies indicate that overthinking activates the brain's threat system, while decisive action calms it.
Yeah.
So if you can quickly make a decision, you're going to be less anxious, more calm. That's the way I read that, right?
Well, and that's the way I have found to be true. Like in the moment, if I'm making the decision in the moment and not overthinking it, I just make the decision and I just keep going. Where if I'm overthinking it, then I'm hesitant to take a step or do something because I've already overthought the worst possible scenario. And
Okay, let's just tell the audience what happened there. Just tell them.
Baby Shark, my dog, got into something she wasn't supposed to get into, so I had to pick up the nearest thing and throw it at her, and
she's still doing it.
And I'm trying not to throw anything bad at her, but there we go. I'm not overthinking. I'm making decisions right in the moment of what to do about this.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
So that is what's happening at the moment. So sorry about that, everybody.
No, it's fine.
But I was agreeing with that. Like making the decisions in the moment, you make that decision and you move forward. Where overthinking it or whatever, you're then hesitant when the moment comes to make that decision, you're more hesitant in it because you've overthought the worst.
Right. Agree. And, let's talk about the self-trust piece too, because people who practice self-trust report higher confidence, lower stress, and stronger follow-through. So confidence, we talk a lot about that too. When you're overthinking, and I know this for me, I'm like, I don't know that I'm capable of making this decision because I cannot come up with the decision. I'm overthinking like, what if this, what if that, what if that? And that I did a lot of that last year. And so I cannot do that again this year. You know, I'm just going to take it, go with the flow. And if I'm going to go with my gut. So when it comes time to make a decision on like where I'm going to live, for example, I hope that the universe shows me, my gut tells me this is where you're going to go. This is the right move.
And you'll know it when it happens. Like you will know it. I mean, you and I are very similar. Like we've always gone with our gut feelings, and 9 times out of 10, it works out, you know? And at that moment you will be like, no, this is what I want to do.
I know that I think my confidence was shattered a little bit last year, just based on the circumstances, not just because of the things that were said during the meanest moments. And my confidence was shaken. And so it really did affect, and I know we're going to talk about that on a later episode, but it really did affect my views, my decision-making, my confidence, everything. And that's why, as I did my soul searching, I was like, I am not going through another year like that, because I know I'm worth more than what I was told I was worth. You know what I mean? So,
I mean, and also, I mean, your divorce is new compared to mine. And you and I both went through kind of the same thing through our divorces with people who that's how they lashed out. You know, they're going to make you feel worse because, you know, they've got their shit going on. Right. And it does become easier to then say yes to yourself and not to that person and the noise that they're making. And although they can wiggle their way in, and because I know mine does, and you know, I just got done telling you how he's bad. I'm like, but I just have to, you know, in the midst of that happening, you know, take a deep breath, you know, this is the last time I have to deal with him on a co-parenting basis, really, and just get through it and don't listen. Like you got to shut it down and just do, like, I'm making the decisions based on my gut, you know?
Right. Agree. So what yes does not mean? Let's talk about that, Terri. So what saying yes does not mean what?
That, you know, you're overcommitting your time. I think that people think that if you're saying yes to things, and this, I say this one because this is exactly what I do. Like I'm afraid to say no to somebody, you know, I'm afraid to set that boundary. But I think in saying this year being the year of saying yes, I'm not saying yes to everybody else. I'm saying yes to me. I'm saying yes to, I will do that because it's good for me. Or, you know, I can feel I can handle that. I'm not saying yes to you because I want to please you. I'm saying yes to you because I feel good about it.
Right. We have to keep our boundaries.
We have to keep your boundaries. So what we are saying is not saying yes to everybody just to say yes to everybody.
Right.
So.
Right. And it also means, and here's a big one for me too, because, you know, being in the travel industry, I'm like, you know, if somebody says, hey, do you want to go to Europe or do you want to go do this or whatever, you know, I'm going to say yes if I can, but it does not mean spending money you don't have, right? So you have to be realistic. Right. So I just use that as an example because that could be an expensive trip, right? But I'm not going to say yes unless I can absolutely afford it. I'm not going to say yes if I'm going to regret spending that money, or I'm going to struggle.
Right. Or you're there worried about, with my, you know, oh, am I going to be able to do this at home now? Take care of this at home. Right.
Oh, absolutely. I want to be present. Like if I'm going to take a trip, I want to be present in the trip. Right. So, but I will tell you, like my friend from high school called and she's like, and you know, road trips are hard for me because I have anxiety on the street, on the road. And
you scare the bejesus out of me driving.
She actually texted me and she said, you want to take a road trip to Alabama? And I sat there for a minute and I just said, sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was like, I had to send a second text and I was like, but it's February and she wants to go in February. And I'm like, I'm anxious on the road already. So if there's bad weather, I don't think that's a good idea. And she goes, well, we'll just cancel if there's bad weather. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Yeah.
This is the time travel person to get your trip insurance.
Awesome. Well, and then I was like, well, I've never been to Alabama, so sure.
Right. I just came back through there. So look at that.
Yeah. I know. I'm going to follow your footsteps.
And
so what else doesn't yes mean?
Well, you don't want to say yes out of guilt or when, your body is screaming no. Again, something that I know we're going to talk about in the future, in stepping back into dating. I know that when I was ready to do it or I wanted to get into a relationship, I only want to be in a relationship if I want to be in that relationship, not just to be in a relationship. So saying yes to that, again, is more saying yes to me and not to somebody else because I feel guilty or I feel like they think I should be doing or other people think I should be doing it. If internally my body, in my mind and my gut are saying, no, don't do this or no, get out of this, because I was in a relationship that I broke off and got out of because in my head and my gut were just like, no, this is not, and me staying there, it would have been easy because yes, I mean, he wasn't a bad person, and he was, treated me well, but I just get out,
go with your gut. Yeah.
So that's what it does not mean. Just saying yes, just to please everybody else.
Right. And then just one more, I think it's important is that you don't want to say yes if it means ignoring your values, speaking of, right? Because just what I know you went with your gut on that, but there were also things that you believed that he didn't, right? And that like in terms of, raising kids, social
family
issues,
values,
things like that.
And social values,
So I think that's super important, right? You're not going to say yes. So I guess that's what we're saying here, right? In this episode, we want to make sure that we're going to say yes to the things that are going to be healthy and inspire us and be positive experiences in our lives.
That align
but we still have to, and we still have to have our boundaries.
Right.
Absolutely.
Because I think a forced yes, or, where you're just like, oh, I have to, because again, pleasing somebody else or the social norm, you're just going to have resentment in the end. So, and then you have to live with that and you're not happy, right? You won't be happy.
Right. So if the yes means that you're ultimately not going to be happy, that's not the right answer.
It's not the right yes, ladies. So
let's
guard, right? We got to have some boundaries in the saying yes, right? So how can we filter out the good yeses from the bad yeses? What do you think?
Right. So, first of all, I touched on it. So can I afford this financially, emotionally, or energetically? Right. So not just financially, but can you afford this? Is this something that is going to disturb your emotional, state, your energy, your finances? If it is, then probably you don't want to say it. Right. What else do you think?
That a responsible yes. I think about, will the future me thank me for this? Will I
that's a good
look
one.
back and be like, oh yeah, that was a good decision, or no, that was again, I've always said, I don't want to live with regrets. So I'm going to say yes if I'm not going to sit there and regret it. So will the future be for that?
Yeah, I love that. But you mentioned regret. Same with fear, right? Is my hesitation about fear or is it a true boundary, right? So honestly, I think if you're just afraid of the unknown, is it a new job that you have an opportunity for a new job and you're just out of fear because you're comfortable Or is your gut telling you to leave a relationship, but you said it earlier, it would have been just fine, comfortable and easy to stay where you were. Maybe not comfortable, easy.
Right. It would not have been comfortable. It would have been, but it would have been easy,
Right. Right. So, what is your hesitation? Is it a boundary or is it fear?
Because let's face it, like you brought up starting a new job. So saying yes to a new job. And if you're hesitant about it or whatever, if it's just fear, sometimes fear just pushes you to grow. So fear isn't a bad thing all of the time. It's, you have to decipher in your life, what is it, just a general fear of, maybe I won't do well. Maybe it's a new company and da, 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 da. But that is an area where you can definitely grow as a person. But if it's a boundary where it's like, no, like this would hurt me, or this would hurt my finances, or this would hurt me emotionally, or take too much of me out of it, or to take too much out of me for it, then that's a legitimate, reason not to say yes.
Agree. 100%. So do you want to talk about the power of going with the flow? I have some research because that's kind of when I said the power of saying yes, or like making the year of yes. And I actually used those words at a work function last week. I think that what comes to mind is like, I'm just going to go with the flow.
Right.
I'm going to be easy, And so studies on psychological flexibility show that people who adapt rather than control experience less stress, recover faster from setbacks, and report higher life satisfaction.
I would agree with that. I mean, the things that I have just gone with the flow, thinking in my life, whether it's, work or personal or relationship, you do get, less stressful, and
it's easy. It feels easy, right?
And, and nothing is perfect, even those easy things will have setbacks, but you recover faster, or, look at it at a different angle to like, balance those setbacks. And you become more satisfied with those. So I do.
I think so too. And then, I think it really is important to say it does not mean being passive, right? Going with the flow. People interpret that different ways,
Right. You respond instead of resisting. You let go of unnecessary rigidity. You're not so rigid about things. Like I was saying earlier, like if I'm overthinking, I become rigid about making certain decisions because I'm just like, I don't know, like what if he says this, or what if they do that, and whatever.
Right.
You trust that everything needs to be micromanaged. And I always remind myself, I hate being micromanaged, so I don't want to micromanage anything else. So.
Me either. Even at work, I can't stand it. I hate when people do it to me. And so I really try not to do it to others.
And I have to say, in my life, that my professional life is probably the last place I ever micromanage anything. I'm like, I just need to apply that mindset to
your personal life,
and I would be good. Yes.
So a lot of these principles are in that let them theory, right? Like I know we talk about it all the time, but it's so true, right? Because it's about letting go of the control. Because when you do want all the control over everything, you are micromanaging.
That's another form of micromanaging. That is the form of micromanaging, no matter what you tell yourself.
Let's be honest. Right. Be honest, though, control does feel safe, but flexibility is what actually builds resilience. I think.
And I consider myself a pretty resilient person. So, you have to learn to be flexible. And honestly, the place that I learned way, way, way back when to be the most flexible is the time I spent teaching a preschool class. Because
I remember that. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And that is where I learned to be the most flexible, because let me tell you, 2 and 3 and 4 and 5-year-olds, they don't care what you want or what you have to say. what you want to do at the time. So you have to avoid any temper tantrums, have to learn to be flexible, get your point across with being flexible or getting that, whatever to happen that needs to happen. So you have to learn to be flexible. And that is where I learned how to be flexible the most.
I love that. Wow. I remember when you did that in the 90s.
Way
back in the that was way back in the 1900s.
I know, in the 1900s. My kid just found a shirt for me, and he's just like, "Hey, I think you'd like this. It's vintage." And I'm like, "Shut up."
Right? It's vintage. I love that the things that we wore are vintage now. Oh my God. So what do you so let's talk about an example, Terri, of when maybe you said no out of habit instead of saying yes.
Where I said no out of habit. I don't know. Let me think. No, out of.
I know it's a hard one.
It is, because I tend to say yes. I'm more of a people pleaser. So my thing, I guess saying no out of habit would be saying no to somebody because I'm literally, my plate is full. And I'm trying, and honestly, that's a hard thing for me to say.
But that's a boundary.
It's a boundary.
That's an important boundary.
It is an important boundary. But some things I said no to, in the end, I'm just like, oh, I could have done it and I would have enjoyed it because I'm overthinking it, And there is a thing in my life right now that I am overthinking. And me personally, I would normally do this it's just hard to talk about.
It's okay. Maybe we talk about that on a later episode.
We'll have to.
Okay. All right. I got you. She's blushing, you guys. It's just literally just me and her. All right. Well, so moments where going with the flow worked out unexpectedly. So I'm going to throw out.
Mine would be the same. Okay, go ahead. Throw it out.
I know. Yeah, go ahead. Is it travel? It's travel. So I'm going to say it didn't work out yet, but I am confident that I'm going to have a blast on this Alabama trip. And I would have normally said no to that for sure because of my anxiety, because it's the middle of winter, because it's an 8-hour drive or however long it takes to get to Alabama.
Hey, I can find out which road you should take that you're not on the expressways. That'll be more relaxing for you. I'll tell you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. That's what I need in my life. But no, I think those types of things I'm going to say yes to.
That's good. Yes. No. And I think that is good. I think that is really good. So the moments where I went with the flow and worked out unexpectedly, it kind of goes hand in hand with the first one, except I would have to say the relationship I'm in because it's a healthy relationship. And I have tried not to overthink it and it's been kind of easy in certain aspects because I've already gained trust with the person. Like we've been friends for a long time. So that learning to trust another person and with your feelings and with everything, I already built that. So now jumping into a dating relationship was a little easier where I could just go with the flow and let it happen. And it's been great. I'm like, wow, this is what our healthy relationship is. Look at that, so that is where it worked out unexpectedly for me because I always expect the worst as far as relationships go because of the relationships I've been in.
Yeah. Well, that makes me happy to hear that.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So normalize saying yes and adjusting later or changing your mind and learning as you go. Let's normalize these things.
Yes, we need to. We absolutely need to, for sure. I think it's difficult because, we get in our own way so many times. But this, you guys, I promise you, this is how my year is going to go. I don't know that I'll end up dating, which we'll talk about on a later episode, I'm sure. Yes. But because so like you said, going with your gut, when you said relationship, just which is why I started laughing. In my stomach, I was like, ew, you know what I mean? Like literally, that's how I know I'm not ready.
Yeah,
this is how I know
we're going
I'm
to talk
not
about
ready.
that very soon, Sandy. So
Yes,
we're diving into that.
So as we bust up laughing, I'm sure it's because Terry's looking at my face through that whole conversation.
I thought you turned to like vomit. So,
but I don't, and again, we'll talk about this on a later episode. There are reasons, and also I'm trying to not be too close-minded. So do I see that I will say yes sometime this year? It might be December 1st, but maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I see it in my future where last year I didn't.
Right.
But again, the year of yes, I'm trying to not overthink it.
And keep an open mind.
And keep an open mind and get over the hurt of it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I mean, it took time for me too. So, but you just have to keep an open mind. I think that's the most important thing.
I also have to realize, and after your story, I do realize that not every man is the same, and there are going to be,
yeah.
So,
no, that is the biggest thing.
That.
So yeah, but we'll talk about that.
Okay.
I think we should take a gummy and talk about all that stuff.
I know. Yeah, maybe we should actually. You know how I am on gummies. I get like super weird. I can't do it.
Yes.
That's why
you took the wrong one. Remember the one you took in Nashville? You had a great time.
Oh, that was it. Oh, yeah, that one was a good one. I don't know the difference.
I didn't either, but I was learning how. But those are good ones, and I just laugh a lot. I mean, I laugh a lot in general. I laugh even more then, but I think we should do it.
Yeah, we're laughing right now, and we're just on coffee. So that's
yes. I think we do definitely need to do an episode on gummies. That's what we should plan on.
Oh yeah, because I need education. Because maybe I would take them more.
That's going to be. I'm going to write that down. Education on gummies, because I think we need that.
Okay, awesome. Well, let's go into your turn while you're writing it down.
All right, your turn.
It's your turn. Let's hear what you have to say.
So I invite you to reflect on one thing that you said yes to this year. Was it a trip, a boundary, a class, a conversation, more rest? What was it? We would love to hear about this. This is my year of yes. And so I would love to hear about what you guys are saying yes to so I can get more ideas.
Absolutely. And I want to hear what other people are struggling with. Like, what are you overthinking? Yeah. Like, what in your life are you overthinking? Share it on newroadsnewrules.com. We've had new people sign up on the platform, which is I'm so very excited about. I'm excited. And we've gotten some great feedback about the platform. Again, so very excited about that since I wrote it. And everybody's loving it, the new platform. So yes, newroadsnewrules.com. We have our Facebook page. You can, if you're, on Facebook, you can follow us on Facebook or Instagram and share your thoughts with us on there as well. All right, Sandy, it's rule of the week. We haven't done a rule in a while. I feel like I need a new rule. So
yes, what is the new rule, Terri?
And now it's time for the rule of the week.
All right. If it's not a hard no and it doesn't violate your values, it's a yes worth considering.
I love.
That is going to be our rule this week, ladies.
It's our rule this year.
Yeah. It is our rule this year.
So before we close out, though, I just want to reiterate that overthinking, it's understandable. We do it. Terri and I do it all the time. We try not to, but it is optional, right? This is a choice you're making to overthink. Yes. So, just remember that.
And self-trust, along with the, me trying to work out and do more weight training and stuff like that. Self-trust is a muscle that you also have to work out and build and make stronger. Yes. And that is, probably my biggest weight that I've been lifting this year. Self-trust, right?
Of course. Yes, of course. And then also, saying yes, it can be quiet, responsible, and deeply powerful if used the right way. Right?
I mean, we just all have to remember that you don't need all of the answers to take your next step, which I always have to remember that. I don't have to have all of the answers at this moment. You just need to trust yourself enough to say yes, to move forward. Because again, you learn in mistakes, so don't be afraid of them. Don't be afraid to take because you might make a mistake. You're going to learn from those mistakes. So
I love that. I love it. So you guys, it's the year of yes. Let's do this thing.
All right.
And welcome to season 4.
But you're my bestie for life.